When you picture therapy, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For a lot of us, it's probably one person on a couch talking one-on-one with a therapist. But what if the most powerful path to healing isn't one we walk alone, but one we walk together? This image is such a perfect way to think about it. We all have those tangled knots inside us. But what if connection is the very thing that helps us smooth them out? Today, we're diving into therapy that steps outside the individual and instead taps into the incredible power of the group and the family. So let's start with what we all know best, individual therapy. Yep, that classic one-on-one session. It's that safe, totally confidential space between you and a therapist, and it's absolutely the foundation for so much important healing work. Okay, now let's imagine adding a few more people to the room. This is group therapy, and this is where things can get really dynamic. It's all about sharing your story, but with other people who just get it, because they're navigating something similar. And believe me, something pretty incredible happens in that shared space. And that brings us to our third type, family therapy. This is exactly what it sounds like. We bring the family unit into the session. Now, this can be really intensive, and you'll notice the key phrase here is all willing participants. Everyone who's ready to show up works together. So you might be wondering, how does just putting a bunch of people in a room together actually work? What's the secret sauce? Well, let's pull back the curtain and take a closer look at the group dynamic. The goals here are really, really powerful. First and foremost, it's about shattering that feeling of isolation, that sense that you are completely alone in what you're going through. When you hear your own feelings echoed by someone else, you start building this incredible community of healing. And, on a purely practical level, it's often a more cost-effective way to get that vital support. But not all groups are the same. You've basically got two main flavors. First, there are open groups, where members can come and go. The group is always evolving. Then you have closed groups. Here, the membership is set from day one, and no one new joins. This really helps build a deep sense of trust and security over time. And that brings me to this quote, which I think is just brilliant. It says, "Open groups are a microcosm of the way life really is." And if you think about it, it's so true, right? People are always entering and leaving our lives. An open group kind of mimics that reality, giving you a safe place to practice handling those real-world shifts and changes. It's a really cool idea. Now, of course, we've got to be real about it. Group therapy isn't a magic bullet, and there are some potential bumps in the road. Privacy is obviously a big one. You also have to make sure everyone gets a chance to be heard. And sometimes a group can develop its own unspoken rules that might make it hard to share a different opinion. Or one person's disruptive behavior could throw off the whole vibe. These are all things a good facilitator keeps an eye on. Every therapy group, especially a closed one, really goes on a journey together. It has its own life cycle, almost like a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. It unfolds in 4 distinct phases. It all kicks off with the planning phase, where the leader lays all the groundwork. Then comes the orientation phase. This is where everyone meets, gets comfortable, and agrees on the ground rules like respect and confidentiality. After that, you hit the working phase. This is the heart of it all, where people feel safe enough to open up and the real therapeutic breakthroughs happen. And finally, there's the termination phase, where the group reflects on their journey together and prepares to say goodbye. All right, let's shift gears now. We're going to zoom in on what is arguably the most influential group any of us will ever belong to, our family. This quote just nails it. Our family is our very first system. It's where we learn about attachment, about communication, about the world. Its influence is just profound. And that's exactly why working within that system can be so incredibly transformative. And here is the absolute key takeaway, the big mindset shift. In family therapy, the therapist isn't just treating one person who's seen as the problem. No, the entire family unit is the client. The goal is to heal the whole system, not just patch up one part of it. So what does a healthy family system even look like? Well, a few things are essential. You need clear boundaries so everyone has space to be themselves. You need open and honest communication. There has to be mutual emotional support, a real sense that you have each other's backs. And finally, the family has to work as a team to effectively manage the day-to-day stuff of life. So we've looked at this solo journey, the journey with peers, and the journey with family. Each one offers this totally unique landscape for growth. So how do you figure out which path is the right one for you or for a particular situation? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you're sitting one-on-one, in a circle of chairs, or on the couch with your family. The mission is the same. It's about untangling our thoughts, and it's about strengthening our connections to ourselves and to the people who matter most. And that really leaves us with a big question to think about. We often think of healing as this deeply personal, solitary journey. But maybe, just maybe, the real key to our own individual healing can be found in a shared space, surrounded by others.